All right, hello everybody and welcome back. We are doing another breakdown and yes, 4x3 again. This time I don't think film, but you never know. So this is again another audience request that somebody left down in the comments. I try and look at those things, try and see what people are liking, and then we're gonna break some of them down, right? Some of them are in the style of the framework, others are not. But this one does have those elements, and it's a great commercial shot by a fantastic cinematographer, and all of that stuff to the links, and will be down in the description below. Okay, let's have a little look here as we talk through it. This is 4x3 again, hard light again, crazy colors. Yeah, let's put some shears in there. People are talking to camera. I love to drive. I also do x-rays on my head with a globe. I'm from the future. I'm probably from Scandinavia. And I'm laughing. It's funny. I have glasses. I am a lady. I drive fast. I love shears and curtains. Don't you? It's dark. Why am I by my car myself? Have you ever thought of that? You just watched 60 seconds of that. Goodbye. Crazy camera move, and we're out. Okay, so that is the ad. Right? This is what we're going to be looking at, 4x3. Oh, a nice VFX there. Those look like real birds. And then we're down into this moving shot. Okay, well, let's start here. All right, we'll start with the good stuff. So, first of all, beautiful looking frame here. Actually, we should go full screen. Let's go full screen. Again, a little bit of a harsher light where it feels like this is not meant to feel, at least I don't know. Can't speak for the cinematographer, but it's meant to feel like she's lit, right? This doesn't feel natural. This obviously feels very lit. You can see the reflection in the car of the lamp itself. Really lit, but good placement of the light relative to the face because it creates this nice little shadow, eye light there. Balance versus the background is what those ratios, like if you wanted to make this feel more natural, all you would do is just take some level out of this lamp. And that brings this level closer to the background level, which would make it feel more in the realm of reality with the ambient light that is going on, right? This feels very, very lit, but still great. We got the color of the car mixed with the color of the sky, mixed with the color of the jumper, and we got nice little background elements there that are again creating depth. This nice window cutting across here. You got this line here. You got deep background. You got little lights back there. She's gonna turn. Hello. How are you? Good. Yes. 10% grain is good. 50% grain is better. Can't believe I just muffed those words there and ruined the whole gag. Anyway, there's lots of grain, right? Grain is cool. Grain on TV, I don't know if this is not gonna make it out of the director's cut, this level of grain, but I like it. I like the 4x3. I like it all. From there, we go overcast. Let's get a color that pops. Yes, please. And for lighting, well, we're not really going to do anything. We'll just set up the ambient. It's too wide. Just make sure that we can bring it down later in post. This is a good one. All right, we got people, our little extras here to create something interesting. If you have a boring, mundane commercial, you just throw stuff at it to make it slightly more interesting. Again, throw 4x3 at it. Throw anamorphic. Throw anything to stop the mind-numbing drain that is shooting something that is boring. Let's go crazy old-ass lenses. Let's shoot them wide open. Let's see if we can miss focus and no one will notice. Let's do all of these things. Because we're here, we might as well make it fun for ourselves. All right, so this is actually, I really like this shot. Lots of interesting lines on the court going this way. We picked a great time of day with long shadows. Look at how long this shadow is, right? It goes all the way up to here. Big, long shadow. Front light day. We haven't softened it off at all, so you get that harshness, right? Because harshness shows that we can do it. And then the lines in the background just creating that depth and the big 4x3 frame there. Here, ta-da, good, looking towards camera, not a whole lot of light, just timing. Beautiful frame here, setting tree, foreground element, old mate, line going down this way to extend the frame and create that depth, and then a beautiful looking sky back there, right? Fairly simple. Again, not much lighting going on, but still understanding the elements that make up a good image means you have to get here at the right time. You have to wait for the right time. You got to sit around while everyone is like, man, I just want to go home. Everybody on the crew is sitting around going, the sky's not going to get any better. Let's just shoot it and go home, right? It's already been 12 hours. We've clocked in our overtime. Everybody's tired. They want to go home. They're sleepy, whatever. As the cinematographer and the DP or the DP and the director are the only people going, wait. It's going to be good. And the client and the agency and the production company is like, every second we wait is more overtime. And say, yeah, well, do you want it to look good or do you want it to look terrible? I'm happy with either. It's your thing. And then that's when they turn around and change their minds. Okay, from there, we go this one. Oh, what is going to be the common theme here, do you think, with all of these interiors? We're going to go, again, off, like when you're doing these images on a boring ad, just change the angle a little bit, and all of a sudden things become edgy and interesting. That's what we're doing here. We got shears, followed by curtain, right? Curtains, because they can be in shot, and they're cutting light. You can't have a 4x floppy in the shot, but you can if you have curtains. Just put them in the shot. They also add a nice little bit of color if the production designer has the mental capacity to be able to pull that off before the production and can talk to the costume people and be like, okay, what's the color theme? What are we going with? Director, yes, we like these colors. We don't like these colors. And make sure that nothing changes on the day when client and agents see that and they go, wait a sec, those aren't the brand colors. Anyway, we set this up. We light through them. You can bunch the shears again to let less light in some areas and more light in other areas, right? If we want the face lit up or a little girl's face, look at the exposure difference between these two and these two, right? This is where the eye immediately focuses. But good looking image, right? Lots of interesting things there. You got all of the benefit of shooting into the shadow here. You can see it on the hand, that transfer of contrast from light to dark creates a three-dimensional quality. It just creates depth. And then of course the angle of the bed in there also does that. We keep moving on. That's more kid stuff in the exact same spot. Again, if you're looking for interest, hey, what if we move the light? Let's do light moving. That sounds good. Yeah, let's do light moving. Okay, this one is great. Again, same good looking stuff here on the car, on the car talking stuff, because you have this beautiful line of the car, which creates depth because it's going away from the camera. You got all the out of focus in the background, the big 4x3 frame. But then here, lighting from the outside, and the car is basically the neg, right? It's sucking up all of the light that would be coming back this way, which creates this shape across the face. So this little shadow area here, plus the big fro there, is creating the shape that tells you exactly where to look, right? And there's obviously here, there's a power window around her face, and they're gonna up that level, and they're gonna slightly bring down everything else around it. So if we go to, let's go to the scopes here and see, you got your sky back there and your little blue of the car. But then the majority of your stuff is right in there, right? Like this is the level. That's where you want to bring it from. Okay. From there, why didn't it go full screen? Back to her. We've already seen her talk. Then there's this guy who's doing some sort of X-ray operation or something. I'm not sure what that has to do with the car, but I like the interesting ceiling. I like the hot spot coming there, running light this way along something interesting. It's like, well, if we're going to do it, let's get it all in frame to create the depth, right? We want lines running away from camera to create depth. Then we're going to use our color contrast here with our little beam of haze. First of all, if he's in some sort of operational situation, there should definitely not be haze in the room. And notice how dark everything is to camera. All this stuff in the foreground, especially his back. We just want this, whatever this light is up here that is coming along the ceiling and then passing over his head, we want it just to gradually fall off to complete darkness. So just create this little edge around him is what is interesting. Because we really don't, I mean, we want people looking at him, but it's more about the hands, it's more about the environment with the color contrast, right? Keep those things interesting. And then if you look, if we go to the actual shadows, like there's nothing, you know, barring the fact that, forgetting about the fact that we got the 4x3 on the side of the image, there's nothing really clipping here, right? All of the blacks are well lifted in this space. That's like that thickening of the toe that we talk about sometimes. Just expanding that area, which you can do through the squeeze and drop technique. Okay, we keep going. Let's make it bigger. Again, here we go on this brain scan thing, framework. Light here, some little reflection here, which is light being pushed back this way, but the contrast ratios are so that you still get this feeling of wrapping the light around because you still get this little tiny shimmer there. This just reaches around to the other side, upstage key, shooting into the shadow. This red light pans across. And again, it's about, in this shot, like, okay, we want to see the red thing pan across the face, right? That's the important part of this shot. See that red thing? We want to see that. So you have to see that, like on the day, on the camera, and then you set your fill. In this situation, you set your fill to whatever this is to get the desired effect, to get this pop of red against the darkness. But you don't want this completely clipped or completely black, right? There's lots and lots of level there where it's lifted from being nothing there because it just feels richer, feels thicker. Okay, from there, We go to Moon Boy or Planet Boy. This one's good, right? This is framework. We are lighting from this way, even though it's not from the back, it's still from the side, which creates this shadow. This is also cool because we've got this harsh light here, and the transition from light to dark is cool. Also, it doesn't, it stops somewhere on his body. So it stops on the hand, so you go into darkness more. We're shooting into an area that cuts off any hot spots back there. We're getting a little bit on the back of these buildings here, but really it's just creating this depth where this line joins up with this one and creates this little depth here. So this is coming at us. This is coming at us. We're expanding, lots and lots of headroom. Like this looks like it was shot for 16 by 9. And then somebody just said, well, 4 by 3 looks good. We didn't have any sound on the day, so everyone is, it's all voiceover. So there's no boom mics in the shot, right? Normally you would have like your boom here, and that would ruin your 4 by 3. But if you're going no sound, if you're going montage ad, then you're okay. See also in the glasses, all that black that is in the glasses, if you got those reflective things, you just got to remember that you're probably going to want a black behind the camera, but not too tall because you don't want to get rid of all that sky in there, but you're going to have to hide yourself from the reflective material. Oh, and he is cool. He's on this little two-wheel thing there. Okay, this one. This is your classic how to do daytime exteriors angle. Like this is the angle of the sun that you want. And you want it this way because, okay, we're not going to go full Hollywood slick and have the bounce coming from this way, really light them up and get contrast on the face, right? We want it to feel more naturalistic, more like it would be in real life. So we're not going to fill in that much. But we are still going to get the light perfect. This is the perfect angle for day exterior lighting outside. All of this in shadow, right? The sun is low enough in the sky that you're not hitting this with full sun, which means we don't have to balance to that. Now we can balance to whatever this is here, right? We just set our stop to whenever we like the look of that, and then we fill in here, we wrap according to whatever this level is. And in this situation, you wouldn't even require any level. And with a lot of modern digital cameras, you don't even need to do the wrap because you can hold the dynamic range. And then you can take your 14 stops or whatever it is, manipulate it and stuff it into the 6-stop container that is Rec 709, and you're laughing. So for here, this sun also provides this perfect little edge. You can imagine if this little guy was back here in the shadow, we would lose this little edge, which is what makes it interesting. All these little, flat dark color to light color to dark color to light color to light color to slightly lower, this little tiny edge here, like this position to the camera is just great. And the DP is probably, making some face, which is why the little kid is laughing, right? They probably had a whole nother scene planned out and this kid is just staring right at him. So learn to be funny if you're going to operate and be a DP, because you're going to want little kids laughing or something. And then, if you're going to make this slicker, all you do is you put your 12 by over here. You could put a 4 by 4 or something smaller, but when you go smaller on the bounces, it starts to feel really sourcey. So the bigger you can go, the further away you can get it with the bigger the source, it's just going to feel more natural. It's harder to screw up. Okay, from there, we could go return light. Then you could bring in neg over here. And the thing about bringing in neg over here is with the perfect exterior angle to the setting sun, you can actually add your own backlight or your own edge light without another source if you do this properly. So you got sun over here, right, which is giving us this. Then you got sun going to a bounce over here somewhere, which is giving us this and maybe a little bit of this, right? Those are our two attack areas for the 12 by. Then you got your neg over here, which is going to take down all of this light here. But say you really like this, or you want to make more of this, then what you do, rather than having the neg right this way to camera, with the end of the, let's say it's a 8 by 8, right? You have your 8 by 8 this way and this way, running this way. Well, if you just open up the angle, so the bit that is close to camera is almost touching you as the operator, right? You're sitting there, you're actually touching the neg with your shoulder. And then instead of it running back that way, you just open it up more and run it that way. So it allows the light to come here, but is blocked off from over here because it's closer to you. And then you actually can create your own tiny little bit of level there. The great part about that is if you create that tiny bit of level, it's really almost impossible to screw up the ratios because the ratio is natural. Just what happens in real life, so it looks good already. So just a little tip there. Okay, from there, what's the other one I wanted to do? There was one more in here. Just more shears, I guess you could say, right? Same thing. This is the same room just dressed differently, same color shears. Shears, we take the bed out of that location and we now make this an office, right? And this is the same thing. Sheer light coming through, and then you just wrap around from inside the room. So this is creating, the shear is creating this. We don't want to see the source though, right? The source is probably up here in the shears. And that creates this, and then we can set this level and this level on the face by wrapping around more, having more push this way and more neg this way, and there's a practical on inside, right? Must have practicals on inside. Same thing, line, light, dark, strong light this way. This is also one, this is like, well, can we fake it? Can we do it slightly later in the day? Yes, we can. Shears. Let's change the color of the curtains and no one will know it's the same exact room. Couch, like this is all production design too. Like look at the colors here, 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 and here. Just all these complementary colors. And then the dog, just like it's a very, and the sofa, it's just it's a good looking image in terms of art department, production wise. And we're back out there, hard light fronty, light from behind. This is, I mean, this is, again, you set up the space and you're always gonna get, you set up on the shadow side, you're always gonna get stuff like this. Just you then determine the softness, you then determine the wrap, you determine how much room tone you want. Like just imagine if you lifted this a couple of stops, there's just a little bit of level back there, or you can make it full day by lifting it 4 or 5 stops. Really the power is that you set the look as soon as you understand the components. And then of course this, if you are doing car ads, just make sure you have some wacky camera movements because nobody likes boring, normal, pan, tilt, boom, whatever. Just don't do that. Okay, that's gonna do it for this commercial. Lots of interesting stuff. Great cinematography, great lighting, keep it interesting, embrace 4x3, embrace the grain, and that's it. Hope you learned something. You can input that information into your next project and you come out halfway decent, and pretty soon you will be in some foreign country having croissants and living the dream. Probably not. Okay, that's it. If you have any other commercials you want to see, leave them in the comments down below and I will try and get to them, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.